Hey everyone, Katee here. I just wanted to take a minute before we get into our normal intro and let you know that this episode was recorded before the tragic fires in Los Angeles. We will, of course, address them when we have a chance to. Obviously, this is an ongoing situation, and it's hard not to have it be on our minds. If you are wanting to donate or figure out something that you can do, we do have a link in our description if that's something you're interested in. But I just wanted to let you guys know that this and a few episodes coming were all recorded ahead of time. As many of you know, we moved away from Los Angeles a little over a year ago now, but Los Angeles is my home for over 25 years, and my heart and so many people that I love are still there. And we are thinking of them, and we love them. So we will get into it now. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here, and be well. Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Sackhoff Show. I am, as always, your host, Katee Sackhoff. Hi everyone. We are officially halfway into January of 2025. I still can't believe it. I want to remind you all to stick around after the show for the hindsight. If you haven't checked it out, I highly suggest that. And if you have comments or suggestions or anything like that, you can send them to the sackhoffshow@gmail.com. We may read your comment in the hindsight. So I want to get to today's guest because he's one of my favorite people. I am so excited, and I know that you will know him because he is like perfectly in that Venn diagram. But even if he wasn't, come on, you guys. It's Diamond Phillips. What? Hello? Yes, it is Diamond Phillips. I am so excited. You have to know who Lou is. He was in Longmire, which is how I know him. Young Guns, Stand and Deliver, Bamba. I mean, I had such a crush on Lou when I was younger. He was he still is absolutely gorgeous, but he is just a really, really fun person. I had the opportunity of working with Lou on Longmire when he played Henry Standing Bear. And I have so many phenomenal memories from him cooking dinners on Sunday night for the cast and crew, almost getting arrested. I don't know if that's in the episode. I don't remember if we talk about that or not, but we had some really phenomenal times. He is a wonderful man. He is a proud, phenomenal father, and he is a great talent. And he has been around for a very long time in this industry. And the fact that he has been around as long as he has is a testament to just how wonderful he is in his work ethic. I can't wait for you to get to know him a little bit better. So enjoy the episode. I'm just going to get out of your way. I have no announcements because I don't have any conventions until March. So I'm going to get out of your way so you can enjoy my dear friend, Diamond Phillips. Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. It's so nice.
You look very
to
classy,
see.
like you're in a speakeasy or something.
Do I?
Well, yeah, I think so.
What is it? Is it that the background is so uneventful or?
It's nice. It's dark, the wainscoting, the whole, black on black, and you standing out like a snowy dove, trooping with crows, all of that.
That's my plan. My plan is,
I thought so.
There are people that have these really fun, interesting backgrounds, and I find that it's distracting. So I just make people stare at my face the whole time.
That works.
It does work. It does work. Where are you?
I'm here. I'm in New York.
Oh, you're in New York?
Westchester County, where we're living now.
Yeah.
Yes, loving it.
How was the summer? Is the summer over and the girl? I mean, your girls are gone, but like not like gone, but you know what I mean. Like they're not at home. I mean,
Indigo is, and she's about to turn 17, and she's homeschooled, so it's a thing. It's a whole thing.
What
And
what led you to home? We talked about this. My husband was homeschooled until he
uh
was right before high school, but both his brothers were homeschooled for, I believe, the whole
right.
journey. What? How does that work for you guys?
It works incredibly well, and the original impetus to do that was travel, the amount of travel that I had to do, and spoke with a lot of friends of mine who would try to pull their kids out of school to go on this location or go there, and schools don't like that. You know, they would dock their grades. They would, it just and
Really?
when people tried so hard to get them into great schools, it became problematic. And we thought, with as much travel as I do, and with wanting, the family to be with me, it turned out to be a really good thing. And then, Indigo's on the spectrum, and so the one-on-one is so much more helpful to her. And I have to say the curriculum that she's going through is in some ways more challenging than when I was in public school,
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah.
When did you guys start homeschooling her?
From jump, from first grade.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you and if I ask any questions you don't want to talk about, Lou, just say I don't want to talk about it. What I don't when we were filming Longmire, Indigo was what, 10? No, younger. 4, 5?
Younger. Yeah, 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 yeah.
When
Yeah.
when did you guys realize that she was on the spectrum?
Early on. Early
Really?
on, right, yeah, right around, when she was going to preschool and, gymboree and things like that. She had transitional,
Yeah.
issues and auditory issues, was a late speaker, all,
Hmm.
all, all, all of the sort of classic, red flags,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, yeah.
and I know you got little ones now too, and you watch them like a hawk, and you watch how they develop, and you watch how personalities are coming to be, and so we and I had done a lot of work with some groups like Act Today way back in the day.
Hmm.
Dr. Doreen Grant-Cachet, behavioral therapist, was a good friend, and so I said, yeah, could you take a look?
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So you know it allowed us to get on the right path early on.
Yeah. I know that the last time we had dinner, you're just so proud of her and the
Yeah.
accomplishments and her milestones. And I know that you're just such a proud girl dad.
I am. I am. I've often said to make it about me again.
Well,
I
this is
made the
about you,
world.
Lou.
Well, there's that. No, but I made the world a better place, man. We need more feminine energy in this world. We need more nurturing. We need more, caring, compassion. Classic feminine traits.
Ha. Yeah,
um,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
yeah. No, I believe me. But yeah, she's. What's amazing is her. Field of interest. We just went to her first anime, convention, and she freaked. She loved that.
Really?
She's gonna end up in Tokyo one day, I'm sure of it. But she's a lovely writer. She's a bit of a wordsmith. I mean,
Hmm.
a couple of her phrases ended up in the first book that I wrote. Just because they were so clever.
Interesting.
And she's also quite the artist. So I really do believe that one day she will be a writer illustrator, which is her dream. What she needs now is a big dose of discipline.
Huh. Well, that's most 17-year-old children, I would
Yeah,
imagine. So
yeah,
she's
yeah.
she's right
This
in
is
there.
finishing what you start and the commitment and all that other good stuff.
Yeah, no, that's I mean, should I have problems with that now? And I am
Don't we all?
44. What are you working on right now?
So I am, like many of us, navigating
Yeah,
the industry right now, what's going on. But I've been really fortunate. A little independent film of mine just got picked up for distribution.
wonderful.
I won Best Actor. We won Best Picture at the LA Independent Film Festival. A
Love
little
that.
film called Ed 2 that I did with Malcolm McDowell. I just saw some snippets of a thing I did with Tom Muska, who wrote and produced Stand and Deliver.
Yeah.
He is now a professor of film at the University of Miami, and he wrote this incredible film noir that he co-directed with his son Alex, who's 25.
Hmm.
Did a great film with a guy named Vincent Grashaw, who's a real Sundance guy, independent film nominee before. And that's in the can and about to be submitted to Sundance. Um, And I got a lovely film coming out with you've worked with Frank Grillo, haven't you?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I was
Uh,
meant to do a movie with Frank, and then it,
yeah.
for whatever reason, I feel like they hired someone else. I feel like I didn't get it for some reason. Like I was supposed to. I was like the
Don't you hate
choice, and I
that?
don't
I'm waiting on
know
a
what
couple of things
happened.
right now, and I literally, I call the agent. I go, just tell me no.
I
Just,
know.
just, just, just tell me no. It's not happening, so I can let it go, as opposed to lighting candles.
Lighting candles and praying to sweet baby Jesus. Would you, if you, so you've been acting since 1987, 86?
Okay, no, okay. So I did La Bamba in 1986, and it's beautiful. We literally just did a 4K screening at the Academy Museum. Eastside was there. Danny Valdez, the co-producer. It was stunning. Sold out 900 tickets. I mean, to
Oh,
this
yeah.
day, an almost 40-year-old film sold out.
Oh, I'm sure.
And so yeah, I did that in '86. But I did my very first professional job when I was 19. So I've literally been a professional actor for over 40 years, which is
Would you still be an actor now if you knew what the industry was like? If it was, would you still want to be an actor?
that's a great question because I mean, quite honestly, uh I try to pass this wisdom and this warning on to young students all the time. I'm on the advisory board for the University of Texas at Arlington, where I got my degree in theater. you know. And just last fall, I went back and I taught a week-long residency. But what I did is I pulled together musical theater, and the film department. And I said, guys, this is a symbiotic relationship. You need to start using each other. You
Yeah.
want to make short films? Go to the theater department. You want to become, a an actor that has range. Do you do the musical theater classes as
Yes.
well? Musical theater guys, I know you can sing, learn how to act. Quite often I tell people, and I mean, Grace is an actress, and she's done some incredible self tapes, and she's done some lovely work, but she's still trying to break in, and it's tough. And I'm no golden ticket, you know what I mean?
No. People think
So
that all the time, that
I know,
nepotism, I know there's this big thing about nepo babies, but
yeah.
people think that, look, just because someone can open a door for you doesn't mean they're going to keep you there. You know what I
No,
mean?
and you may get one shot, and the truth of the matter is if you're not ready for that, that may be your last shot.
Yeah.
I mean, it still is to a certain extent a merit-based business, and you have to deliver. If you're given the opportunity with so much competition and with how much you can potentially make, and the plethora of choices out there, they're going to find what they want. So
Mm,
you may get one break, but yeah, it's not going to sustain itself.
no.
So what I tell young students all the time, if I'm called a lecturer or whatever else, is you better freaking love this. You better love it more than anything else. If you prefer crocheting, go do that. It's going to be a lot easier,
It's true.
because you are facing a lifetime of rejection and criticism and judgment and desperation and
Mm.
a lot of things. And so the rewards that you get when you act, when you get to do that and call yourself a professional and get paid for it, have to outweigh the pain that you will go through, and you will go through it, and you will continue to go through it for the entirety of your career.
You have always, that thing you were talking about with your students, that I preach all the time about diversification. Like you have to
Mhm.
diversify yourself in this industry. And I'm not talking about like you don't have to direct. You don't have to write. But I'm talking about diversify yourself in the sense that like you go do some theater, go do voiceover
Mhm.
work, go do everything, because
Yeah.
it all works in this symbiotic relationship now, because the industry is not the way that it was, and social
Mhm.
media and technology have changed it like exponentially,
Yeah.
and you can't just sit back and like wait anymore.
No, yeah, well, I discovered that back in the early '90s. You cannot sit on your laurels. You do not get tenure in this industry. I mean, it's like, all of a sudden, ooh, I was an offer only actor, and then I would watch movies and I'd see things go by and I go, why the hell didn't I see that?
Yeah, because you're
Why didn't
offer
I get to
only.
read that script? Yeah. And now so all of a sudden I had to go, all right, hold on.
Yeah.
You've created ivory tower here that nobody seems to want to scale.
Yeah.
So I need to open up myself to more opportunities. And the beauty, like you said, the beauty of what's going on, and you're doing this quite admirably, I must say, Katee. I mean, it's
Mm.
just it's fantastic. You're producing and you're writing and you're developing and you're doing all, and I think you do voiceover too and some gaming stuff, and I'm doing all that as well.
Yeah.
A ton of voiceover stuff that I'm real proud of, and I have a lot of fun with it, and some stuff I can talk about. Just
Yeah.
I did my first mocap. I'm
Isn't
in the
that
next
fun?
Call of Duty. Yes and
So
no.
you did Call of Duty. So mine was Call of Duty too. You didn't enjoy it? What didn't you,
It was just
what,
odd. It
tell me
was
about the process that you didn't love.
okay. When I write, I'm in control of everything. When I act, I'm in control to a certain extent, of the character, especially on stage. But at least it's a collaboration. Uh, when I direct, and even for television, and I love this. I mean, the first thing that I had to wrap my head around was, okay, you know what? Guess what, man? It ain't your baby. You know what I'm saying? You're there to get it in on time, get it in on budget, and elevate it. Take that particular box of crayons that they're giving you and do something cool with that within those parameters.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get Final Cut. You don't get to go, oh no, I see it this way. It's no. You talk to the showrunner, you talk to the writers, you deal with the cast who's been there a lot longer than you have, you know. And so when you know the rules of the game, then you can do well at it.
Mm.
And I've really enjoyed that because it's, you come in and it's 10 days prep, 10 days shooting, Bob's your uncle.
Right.
What was interesting to me about as I started wrapping my head around the process of the mocap, it got more palatable to me.
Mm.
But when I first showed up, lines learned on set, ready to act, they not only had it been storyboarded to within an inch of its life, they'd already shot it with Polish actors in Poland and showed me the video and go,
Just do
okay,
this.
you just do this. You walk over here, you pick up the glass, you drink on this line, you put it down over here, and then you walk away. And I'm like, you could have used a marionette, there's really, and I realized, okay, the reason I'm here is they are using my face. It is me, and it's the voice. And so the acting is then, about this,
Yeah.
capturing this, because they can't replicate the
It's
expressions of a good actor.
100% mocap about what you bring
Yeah.
to the performance.
Yeah, and so I got used to the fact that the rest of my body was posing,
Yeah.
yeah, and but and then put it into here. So I finally got that, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
It's just odd, but I mean, it's like doing voiceover too. It's like the performance is, but you tend to act with your whole body when you're in the recording studio,
Yeah.
so that they started recording that too to give, I think, the animators some ideas.
They do it with Mandalorian as well, where they do previs. It's all digital though. And the director has gone in and directed the previs the way that they sort of want things to look. And so on the day when you come in as an actor, it's already
It's like a video storyboard, right?
It's a video storyboard. This is what they think it will look like. What can you do within that? Like it's up to negotiation. Let's talk about it. Let's see what it's, but this is sort of what we were thinking. And it is interesting. You learn it's a different style of acting. It forces your brain to work in a very, very different way because you're like, okay, if this is my end point, how do I back myself up and get there? You know what I mean? And then what can I bring to it between there? It's very interesting.
But to circle back to the beginning of this conversation, this is what new artists are faced with these days, and you have to learn.
Yeah.
As technology evolves, so do you. Or just be a theater actor for the rest of your life, which is, hey, that's a perfectly acceptable, career path. But to maximize your employability,
Mm.
to maximize your opportunities in your career, you kind of got to figure out a lot of this stuff,
Well, let's talk about theater a little bit because you got nominated for a Tony Award for The King and I
Mhm.
um, many years ago.
Many,
Many years ago, which listen, I
many.
could say that about myself in many, many, many places of this business. But what was it? Was that your initial love? Was theater and singing, and like what drew you to that, and how did that opportunity come about?
Once again, I mean, like so many things, it's not getting discovered or being in the right place at the right time. When you actually look back at the progression of events that lead to something in your career, quite often, a lot of things had to stack up in the right way. Yeah, I have a degree in theater from the University of Texas at Arlington. So I had done a lot of theater. I had done a lot of theater in high school, which led me to want to, get a degree in college. Um, I was not a great singer. What's
Mm.
hilarious is that I land the lead role in a movie called La Bamba, and it's like now America thinks I'm a rock star. No, I'm not. I just play one on TV. I don't even play the guitar still to this day. And so I didn't know. I had to learn all the figuring by rote, literally, boom, 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 and
But you
so
learned it all.
I did
Oh my
in a
God. I
week.
don't know if I could ever do that. I have tried to learn
Yeah,
how to play the guitar so many times
yeah.
and I usually give it up within a week.
Oh no, they used to have to wipe blood off the prop guitar because I had not developed calluses and I would press so hard that I would rub my fingers raw
Oh my,
at the end of 12 takes. Yeah, that's crazy. So La Bamba happens once again to piggyback on another idea. All of a sudden, I'm offer only, and it's like, wait a second. I am painting myself into this corner where I will disappear if I do not hit the bricks, get back out there, and remember why I'm doing this in the first place, and that is
right.
my love of acting.
Yeah.
So what I did is I said, let's look into some theater, and an opportunity came up at the La Jolla Playhouse down in La Jolla, and I did this amazing piece that was retranslated from the original German by Tony Kushner.
Hmm.
I did the Good Person Obsessed one. Tony Kushner, Angels in America, Pulitzer Prize, Tony, every award under the sun. So he had retranslated the original Good Person Obsessed one by Bertolt Brecht. He's a huge Brecht fan. Strangely enough, David Hidalgo and Luis Perez of Los Lobos, who, he was my voice in La Bamba, wrote new music for it.
Hmm.
And I could actually sing on stage. That production, George C. Wolfe came to see it. It did not get moved to New York, sadly. But Jay Binder, a New York casting director, saw it. This was in 94. A year and a half later, Jay Binder calls my agent and says, hey, would Lou be interested in a revival of The King and I? Because what they were trying to do was, for the first time ever, believe this or believe it, in 1996, the first time ever that every single Asian character in that play had Asian blood.
Hmm.
Okay. First time ever. Everybody knows Yul Brynner. From Yul Brynner was Hungarian. Okay. Rita Moreno, who I love and adore. She's played my mother before. Puerto Rican, played
Yeah.
Tuptim. It was such a massive accomplishment. And so, yeah, I said, great. Let me look at that. I looked at the old movie and I thought, because it's like they tried to do, Streetcar Named Desire and a bunch of other classics, and it's like, wow, what are you going to do that's different?
Yeah.
And are you going to do something so different that you actually, don't do justice to the source material? So I looked at it and I thought, okay, if Yule's done everything that there is to do in this role, then I'm not going to do it. And then I'm going, oh, that joke's funnier than the way he did it, or that's interesting. And one of the things that we really that Christopher Renshaw, as the director, really brought to it was taking this nugget that people think was this beautiful sheen of 1950s soft focus and glow and cuteness and getting to know you and all of that,
Yeah.
right? The play itself, first of all, is hilarious. But second of all, it's about misogyny. It's about colonialism. It's about sexism. It's about racism. It's all of these things that are inherent in the piece, and the fact that King Mongkut, who is a real character, a real human being, uh, uh, knew that he had to evolve as a man if he was going to pass on any wisdom to his son, and have Siam maintain its independence and not get swallowed up by Great Britain. That was, the UK was colonizing everything on the planet at
Expanding.
that point in time. Yeah. And so there was so much there that the 50s sheen of movie making or whatever did not delve into, and
Yeah.
we delved into all of that on stage.
This episode is brought to you by HelloFresh. Are you tired of figuring out what's for dinner night after night, especially on those busy weekdays? Hello, school week. Get dinner done the easy way thanks to HelloFresh. It's easy to find time to eat well with 50 wholesome, hassle-free meals to choose from each week delivered to your door. HelloFresh's new ready-made meals go from the fridge to your fork in just 3 minutes. So it's the same high-quality ingredients and restaurant-worthy flavor you expect from HelloFresh. It's just with none of the work. HelloFresh has been so great for my family. It literally gives me more time to spend with them and less time thinking about what we're going to eat. Get up to 10 free meals and a free high-protein item for life at HelloFresh.com/Katee10FM. One item per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only, varies by plan. That's up to 10 free HelloFresh meals. Just go to HelloFresh.com/Katee10FM. America's #1 meal kit, HelloFresh. Well, you bring up a really interesting thing that's happening now, more so in our industry, where people are playing characters of their race and nationality, and that is becoming the norm and almost required. When you were coming up, had it been that way, you wouldn't have the career that you have.
I wouldn't have been in La Bamba.
No.
I wouldn't have been in Stand and Deliver.
No.
I wouldn't have been in Young Guns.
Right.
Honestly, Katee, I'm dealing with it now. There are roles that I did in the 80s and 90s that, I cannot even be submitted for.
So how do you come to terms with that? And then what do you do with that moving forward?
I'm still coming to terms with it.
Yeah.
Quite honestly. I in my darker moments, I'm like, okay, there are doors that are closed to me now that I helped open.
Yeah.
There are generations of actors that I inspired. I look at what I did and I go, okay, if you would replace me with somebody with more, for lack of a better term, appropriate DNA, with the performance have been the same. And I am able to, at this point in my life, embrace the fact that my work in those films helped make them hits.
I agree with you, Lou, 100%.
Your
performances in the projects that you brought up are phenomenal. And I agree with you exponentially. Had you not delivered the performances that you did, those movies wouldn't be what they are, but also you still wouldn't be relevant.
Yeah. And so, so it's interesting because I have that on the one hand, but I also have on the other hand that I am an ally and I've represented many, many communities, and I want representation and opportunity for the Latino community, for the Native American community, for, the Asian community. I have represented them all, So where, if we were to take my DNA, the only roles that I am, legitimately capable of playing is, Lou Diamond Phillips. And I've done that.
Well, your DNA is quite complicated.
Exactly.
You're Filipino, but at the same time,
but,
you also
Polynesian and Hawaiian and some Chinese and Scott Irish, all the white guys, and plus a big bit of Scandinavia. I'm part Viking, I mean, I made I ad-libbed that joke about, Mel Gibson not putting me in Braveheart, even though I'm Irish, so it's like, God damn it,
Although
but,
I would have actually really enjoyed you
in a kilt.
in a kilt in those scenes, just being like, what's that dude doing there?
Exactly. But that's just it. I mean, we have to expand our mind and go, what's that dude doing there? So, for instance, Vincent Grasham wanted me to be in, Keep Quiet, which is basically this incredible film uh, that is like Training Day on the Res.
Oh, cool.
Okay. It's a Native American film. We had to specify that my character is not Native American.
But don't you have Native American blood in you?
A drop. But if I had to, go into blood quantum and get validated for a registry or something like that, it wouldn't happen. Okay.
Okay.
So and I'm sure the issue is still going to come up, but we literally said, oh yeah, no, that guy's he's half Filipino. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and in a way, by being an outsider as opposed to being, actually native, it did bring a different dynamic to the actual plot, and it helped it. Meanwhile, because I said yes to this film, there are a half a dozen young native actors who were background artists in Killers of the Flower Moon who got their first speaking roles, and they're fantastic. And so
do you mean that because you having you attached to it greenlit the movie? Yeah.
It got made.
It got made. Having your name attached to it helped get the movie made, which opened up the opportunity for a lot more native younger actors to actually get roles.
Yes.
Right.
I can go back to The Dark Wind. There was a lady who led a group of 12 people who had a consortium in LA that were native, and they protested me playing Jim Chibi after Robert Redford said he was going to cast a Navajo. And I literally sat down with her. I said, "Well, why are you doing this? I'm an ally. I'm a friend." And she goes, "Well, yeah, you've just given us a big platform, so we got to take it. We like you, but now all of a sudden Entertainment Tonight's talking to us.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't before. You know what I mean? On that film, and we were supposed to do 3, but because it got attacked so much, the other 2 films never got made. Meanwhile, 80 people who were actors, technicians, interns, and the money that we brought to the reservation, gets discounted. And it's like, guys, we can't, we got to find a way to work together on this. Otherwise, for lack of a better term, it becomes about tribalism, and we're only making, films for certain audiences or smaller audiences or niche audiences.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's Hollywood is going to follow, what it follows is it's never, and it's never been, groundbreaking, pioneer.
Yeah.
And so if the boxes are smaller, the boxes are smaller, and that's okay with them.
Did you ever, because we shot on the res a lot for Longmire, did you ever get any backlash? Because I don't remember any.
Quite the opposite.
Yeah.
I was adopted into the Cheyenne Nation.
Yeah.
I was asked to come up and speak at the Lane Deer high school graduation, but I mean, once again, we talk about how I'm adapting. I'm not adapting. I've done this my entire career. When I got Henry Standing Bear, the first thing I did was get a hold of Marcus Red Thunder, and I flew up on my own dime to Montana to go to the Lane Deer Res, to sit down with the elders, to go to the high schools, to go to the retirement homes, to do ceremony and approach it with respect and, with gratitude.
Yeah.
Because by being ambiguous brown, I have represented, a number of different communities. And for instance, at the La Bamba screening recently, his brother, Richie's brother Mario, and his sister Irma were there. I had the family's endorsement from the beginning.
Yeah.
And ended up, marching with Cesar Chavez and helping to represent the United Farm Workers. And so, for me, it's not me coming in and benefiting from a community and taking from it without giving back.
I want to go back to Stand and Deliver, just because it was so interesting to me that you actually had met and worked with Eddie before that. Did he have any hand? Did he remember you when you were on Miami Vice? Like, was there any? Was there any?
He's the reason I was in Stand and Deliver.
Really?
Eddie is
Okay,
the reason.
explain that to me.
No. Okay. So when I did La Bamba, right? Got paid scale, got hired as a local. It's like, kid, you can either take the per diem or you can take a hotel room. And it's like, well, I'm going to take the per diem because I got to eat, you know? And I slept on a
Right?
friend's
You can
couch.
hear him like, I can sleep in my
Literally.
car. I can't eat my car.
Exactly. And so I literally slept, not even on a friend's couch. I slept on the couch cushions in their utility room because they didn't have a washer or dryer. So that was,
Privacy.
I had my kennel. Yeah. So I mean, that was just ridiculous. So I made about $6,000 off
Okay.
La Bamba. I gave half of that to my mother, and we finished filming in July. By December, I was out of money. Because I had like 3 roommates. I was able to pay like $300 a month in rent. So I was literally going to have to move back to Texas. And then in December, I land an episode of Miami Vice. And it shoots in January, and I make as much on that as I did on the entire film of La Bamba.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
So I have one scene with Eddie. And what's interesting is, once again, you just look at the network, the connections. Eddie had done Zoot Suit with Luis and Danny Valdez.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Yeah. The play that went to Broadway, the movie, whole 9 yards. He knows the Valdezes very, very well. So he was very, very familiar with the film La Bamba, but he hadn't seen it. And La Bamba wasn't going to come out again, for another 6 months, not until August. So nobody in Hollywood was, willing to give this unknown kid of an obscure Mexican, rock and roll, biopic, a job. So I have one scene with Eddie. He knows that I've done La Bamba. We have a little chat about it. We finished the scene, and Eddie says to me, he goes, what are you doing next month? Oh, I don't know, not much. You want to have lunch, He goes, I'm doing this film. It's a very important film. You should be in it. And so he gives me a number to call when I get back to LA, because this was actually in Miami. And sure enough, I get back to LA. I call the number. It's Ramon Menendez, the director of Stand and Deliver. And I go in and I meet with him and Tom Muska. And that's how I ended up in that film. It was all Eddie.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are you, because I know that I saw a rumor that that Emilio has written another script for Young Guns. I want to go back to what we were talking about earlier and the fact that you today wouldn't be able to play that character. If for some reason Young Guns, another one happens, which by the way, I had such a mad crush on every single one of you guys. Can we talk about that for a second? I've always liked older men. It's ironic to me. I married someone 10 years younger than me, but I had such a crush on you guys. And I loved, me, those are the movies I leaned into. I loved action. I loved drama. I loved science fiction.
You embody it. You should, you really, you need to do a Western, man. You'd be amazing.
Oh my God, I'd have so much fun.
Yeah, you would.
I The Quick and the Dead, give me Sharon Stone.
Right.
But so I loved that movie and I would love to see another one. But what do you do? What do you do in that situation?
Fortunately for me, if another one happens, well, they won't replace me. So
well, they can't.
No, I'll tell you what, because I've already talked to Emilio.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Well,
yeah. No, I've already talked to Emilio. I've read the script. It is fantastic.
Is there a cute little 40-year-old blonde girl in it?
There's a girl in it that age may not be an issue. So
well, there you go. There you go.
Make a couple of phone calls.
I mean, I do know 2 of you.
Yeah.
What was it like shooting that first one? Did you and Kiefer just get into so much fucking trouble? Because I know you both.
Yeah. I've often said, thank goodness TMZ did not exist and camera phones did not exist in 1987, 88. Oh yeah. It's amazing that we all survived. And you have to remember that, Charlie Sheen was with us as well.
That's right.
So, yeah, that's, there are stories, there are, Yeah,
Well, give me one. Is
eyewitness
there
accounts.
anything that's appropriate to talk to me to tell me about? Because I'm dying to know some of it. Because I've got
Um,
Kiefer stories.
oh yeah. Well, I mean, Kiefer introduced me to Scotch on that film. I walked into the bar one night. We were all there at the Sheraton, and you know Santa Fe. I mean, it's there right there. Is the hotel still there? The gym that I went to is right next door. So yeah, there's that. It's there on the top of the hill, the where the I think condos got built, where the other guest rooms from the Sheraton were down the hill.
Is it still a Sheridan?
So I don't think it is.
No,
I think
I
it's
don't.
something
I
else.
don't think so.
So, but that's where we hung out, and we hung out in that bar, and there was a couple of guys who would, play guitar and bass every night, and they would sing, and they'd let us up, and at the end of the night, we would always sing "Knocking on Heaven's Door" because we decided that from Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, this was going to be our theme song, so we sang it drunkenly at the end of every night. And then I walked in one night, I remember. And Kiefer's sitting at a table with this really beautiful bottle, and he's looking really down. I man, is everything okay? He goes, yeah, I got this beautiful bottle of Ushkerbach, and I got nobody to drink it with me. And I went, hello.
Have you met Lou Diamond Phillips?
Hello. And so yeah, that was my introduction to Scotch. The bottle did not survive the night. And it was just the two of us, and yeah, thank God for youth. But there was the hill that went down from the Sheridan, and now I have to say, thank God it was covered in snow, because I went ass over tea kettles down that hill trying to get back to my room.
Oh my
You know,
God.
yeah. So I mean, there was that, and because Charlie was cutting such a swath through the local bar scene. Our second assistant director was Cisco Valderrama, who at the time was the vice president of the Oakland chapter of the Hells Angels.
Oh, fun.
Yeah,
I mean, in a pinch, they'll get you out of it.
that was exactly right. And so Cisco makes a phone call because I think people were worried that Charlie was going to get his ass kicked eventually. So they brought in Cisco. They brought in Marvin and Deacon. To basically be our shadows, and wherever we went, there were Marvin and Deacon in the corner. So,
Do you
yeah.
remember when we were filming Longmire, and it wasn't? I'm not going to go out on a limb and say it was the Hells Angels by any means, but there is there's a lot of transpo drivers. There's a lot of crew members that have some connections to some heavies in the world, right?
Yeah.
And we were driving home, or I was driving home from where would we shoot all the time? It's like where all the heroin is.
Las Vegas.
Not Las Vegas, but it
New
was
Mexico,
right outside of Santa Fe. It's like a really bad place that you shouldn't go to. But we were shooting there, and on the way home, I was driving. Scott was in front of me on his motorcycle, and I was following him because he had come out to set, and then we were heading back to the rental place. And there was a car that I was trying to slow them down because they were driving so quickly, and I didn't want them to get in front of me because Scott was in front of me, and I was like kind of protecting him from this car driving crazy behind me. And so and he has no idea what's going on because he's on his motorcycle. And so these people, they finally get by me as I felt like I was, trying to protect him. And I flipped him off. I will never flip another car off as long as I live. So I flipped them off, and the entire drive back to Santa Fe, they tried to run me off the road. And they were threatening me, and I have never been so scared in my entire life. It was a car full of people, and I was like sobbing in the car, and I didn't know what to do. And I was terrified in the middle of trying to get back to Santa Fe. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to go straight back to my house. I was so scared. And I'm like sobbing. I'm calling the police. I get a picture of the driver's license, but I'm on the phone with the police, and I tell them what I've done. And I was like, I know it was my fault, that I'm the one that instigated this. But I was like, I am so scared. They're trying to kill me. I'm so scared. And so
Yeah, no, yeah, that's an appropriate response to getting flipped
it
off.
was
Come
awful.
on.
It was awful. I was so scared. So then come to find out, it was a car full of late teen, early 20s that someone from our crew, our transfer guys, knew the police chief in the town that we were just in. And there was a phone
The
call.
Madras?
And I don't remember where it was, but I was so scared. The next day I was at work. They were like, we're going to handle it. And they had two like police cars at this girl's who was driving the car at her house the next morning at like 6 a.m. and woke the family up to be like, this is what happened. This is what your daughter did. And because it was a girl driving the car, but it was filled with guys. And it was,
Yeah.
I've never been so scared in my entire life. I literally
Yeah.
thought I was going to die, but it was handled. It was handled.
Yeah.
They got a warning. No one was like, it wasn't, but
Yeah.
it was, I've never been so scared. But our crew members, like our transpo guy handled that.
Yeah.
Handled it.
Yeah. I'm not surprised in the least. But I mean, and the other thing I'm not surprised about in the least is how fast, road rage and everything else escalates these days. I mean, it's, there's so much anger and toxicity out there that it's, something as simple as being able, it's your right to tell somebody to fuck off. But, then all of a sudden to expect that, that your life is in danger because of it. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I won't do it
That's
again.
ridiculous.
I won't do it again, ever. What do you do with daughters? Like talking about that and like the way that the world, like now that I'm a parent, I sort of see the world differently. Like, what do you do? Is that because your daughters are stunning?
Thank you.
Like, what do you do to let them out into the world and protect them?
First of all, it's about, creating a foundation, teaching them right from wrong early on, all of that good stuff, and understanding that you're not always going to be there to protect them and to do things. It's arming them with, knowledge, wisdom, experience. And the big thing, is honesty, I think, just honesty and saying, this could happen. This is, I'm not being hysterical or, histrionic or anything like that. I mean, this is the way the world is. This, you can expect this from boys. You can expect this from, the bar scene. You can expect this from the industry. Stuff happens all the time. I think now we are dealing with it in a way that is transparent and that has accountability. And so it is, not creating, the Barbie dollhouse for everybody and saying, oh, this is the way the world is. It's, in a funny way, that's what that movie was about. It's like, oh, let's step out of the dollhouse and realize that, the world that has issues, and I think, in broad strokes, that's what you have to do. And the specifics obviously come down to, the situations.
Mm-hmm. We need to have another dinner. How often do you cook these days?
Almost every night.
Do you really?
Yeah, I still cook almost every night. Yeah. Yeah, that's part of my thing.
Because your meals were like legendary during Longmire. Like everyone loved when you had.
I don't do the big ones like that. Although I'm looking forward to being on location again and doing that for a group of people. Last time I did that, I directed a kung fu, and we did a potluck and I cooked a bunch of like Filipino dishes. But yeah, I loved it. And they were legendary. I mean, they just kept growing and they were amazing. And, every time Michael Offer came in, it became the Phillips offering,
Yeah.
And, I still love it. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of, I still watch, food competitions and I'm kind of itching to get back into a food kitchen again, and compete. But yeah, no, I love it. It's therapeutic. Like I said, I'm doing a lot of writing these days. So I write in the morning. I did yoga before we got on, and then I'll cook. I'm going to do some reading and writing when I get off, and then I'll cook dinner. And it's a lovely day.
How do you motivate yourself to stay, motivated? in this ever-changing industry that is like there are times, I mean, I'm so burnt out. I'm so burnt out. I'm like struggling to stay motivated.
For me, first of all, it's just personality. I've never been able to do nothing. I'm not good at that. And so I get myself into situations where I do have to do stuff, you know. I mean, even now, you know, with and by the way, conventions, I'm going to a lot of conventions, and thank God for those.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I'm a governor of the actors branch of the Academy, and so there are a lot of responsibilities there. Right now, I'm also helping to judge the Soho Film Festival. So, you know, it just keeps me plugged in, keeps me, you know, engaged, looking at the next generation of voices coming up.
Yeah.
But also, you know, I mean, you know, art begets art, and it inspires me. I read every day. Right now, I'm reading Don Winslow's the last book in his trilogy, which is freaking amazing. And you know, I read Craig Johnson's latest book and my friend Chris Bourgeois' latest book. So they, you know, they continue to inspire me. So I I feel like there's things that I have to do, and I mean, just on a very basic level, if I don't hit the bricks, if I don't make the phone calls, if I don't keep my face out there, I really believe that, you know, you can get left behind.
Oh, you won't work.
You know,
You won't work.
you
No.
know, you have to be engaged.
Yeah.
You have to make it happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't come to you.
I had
Not
to
anymore.
let go of my entire team, literally, because it was the same thing. Mandalorian happened, and no, she's offer only. And so I was sitting around going like, why have I not worked in 2 years and had no auditions? And they're like, well, because nothing's come through. And I'm like, how is that possible?
Yeah.
How's that possible?
Yeah, I experienced that in the early 90s. It's like, how is that possible?
And so I
Nobody's
had to
thinking of me?
shake up everything. And it's terrifying. It's terrifying having been with the same manager for 27 years.
Yeah.
And to leave those relationships and start all over again. It's absolutely terrifying.
But yeah, I mean, you know, these days you are in control of your own ship. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
You know, I think, you know, any mistakes I made early on in my career were because I put my fate into other people's hands, and you know, that's not possible anymore.
So I'm just gonna pull a rando card.
Okay.
And we'll see what it is. And that's
Great.
the question. Okay. Oh, I got two. Okay. What's the dumbest way you've injured yourself?
Wow. Any number of ways. Wow. Interesting. Two things come to mind. I mean, you know, I got dragged by a horse on the set of Young Guns too.
Did you really?
Yeah. You see I don't know if you can see the scar on the.
I
broke
can.
that in 4 places. Yeah, that got broken in 4 places. It wasn't supposed to be a stunt. I had a noose around my neck. There was an explosion in a wall. Emilio was supposed to ride in, pull off a full load. I have on plastic shackles. Boom. Turn like this, thing goes, it is a big stupid thing. And I knew it was not a good idea. But I said, okay, you can have one take, but I want to talk to the producer. And I did it anyway. And sure enough, it almost killed me. So there's that. If anybody wants to Google it, there's like, you know, Hollywood near-death stories with Diamond Phillips.
Really?
That's out there. Yeah.
So I have so many questions. So you fall off the horse, the shackles don't break.
Well, they're plastic. They do break.
Okay.
So that they broke. The noose, however, was real, and it was wrapped around the saddle horn. And I was dragged for about 100 yards, not in a straight line. The horse was freaked out.
Oh my God.
It was kicking me. The reason I got this was because it kicked me in the head. I saw the hoof coming. I threw this up, and it hit me here. It took me through a stack of kindling. I shattered a wagon wheel that it dragged me into, and there's a chunk out of my left knee because we're in Cerrillos, New Mexico, the western set that's out there in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
you know it. And the gate to the desert behind the set was made of railroad ties, and I got caught on that, and that's what snapped the rope and saved my life. So otherwise, I'd have been a rag doll all the way to Mexico.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that was the last time I did not listen to my instincts. If something was messed up or something was sus, it's like, nah, not going to do that. So yeah, that was probably the worst and probably the best. I mean,
How did they film?
Year, they didn't. That was my last scene. It's how I left the film. I had one scene left and they cut it. And it was my last scene on a horse. So there you go.
Do you never get on horses?
No, I got on a horse for Longmire a few times. It wasn't the horse's fault,
Right.
to be quite honest. There were explosions and guns going off around its head. I mean, what's it going to do, and literally, I mean, the first AD said, yeah, well, you're a good rider. I said, yeah, I'm a good rider with my hands on the reins. I'm twisting around like this, dude. Well, how am I going to control the horse? And if you shoot a gun off by its head, what do you expect it to do?
Oh my God.
It just defied logic.
Well, I'm glad you're alive.
Yeah, me and you both.
Oh my God. It's why I'm scared of horses. I'm scared of horses. It's not my
They have their own minds.
Yeah.
They will do what they want to do.
Yeah. No, it's terrifying. Do you still partake in the adult beverage every once in a while?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah.
Moderately.
Yes. Because we should sit down and have some wine at some point.
Yes, indeed.
I would love that. Thank you for taking the time.
Oh, well, you're the reason for the season, Daryl. It was all about you. Yeah.
I appreciate you. I will let you get back to Indigo and her first day of school.
Yay.
I know.
Yay.
That's so exciting.
Great seeing you.
Tell Yvonne
You
I
were
said
fantastic,
hi.
kid. And kiss those babies.
Oh, I will. You should see them.
Nice.
One of them is tall and lanky like daddy, and the other one is just a chunk and a half.
Yay.
Just a chunk and a half. So
a little potato.
He is a potato. He's a little gordito.
Yeah.
All right.
I like it.
All right.
Hi, sweetheart.
Love you. Bye.
No, bye.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Hindsight. Thank you so much for sticking around. I am so excited. I'm also excited because I've obviously had a wardrobe change. For those of you not watching and listening, I'm going to explain what I am in here. I'm in a white hoodie sweatshirt with some spray paint writing on the front of it in Mandalorian blue, mind you. And what does it say, Mr. Gift Giver?
It says Disney Princess.
It says Disney Princess on it. Look at this. I love it.
Yeah, I was going for a bit gaudy, but gaudy so much so that it would be amazing.
Like, honestly, they should make these at Disneyland.
Yeah.
They really should.
Don't you miss airbrushing? Do you remember when airbrushing was like in the malls and you could go get those awesome shirts and everything?
You absolutely could. And I miss that. There are things that I miss. I miss puffy paint.
Puffy paint was good.
Do you remember puffy paint?
Oh, yeah. I used to make puffy paint shirts myself.
Oh, my gosh.
And everything. It was great.
I borrowed my father's truck a while ago. And I found in the back, he had sort of like, where you would keep a gun rack, but not where my dad doesn't have a gun rack, but like that's where
the gun rack
be.
Space. Yes,
exactly. And I saw a hat that I made him when I was probably 10, 11, and it said number one dad on it, and it was all in puffy paint.
That's pretty adorable.
Still has it. Not only does he have it, it's like in his truck still. Like,
it's very adorable.
Yeah, super cute. We need to bring that back. But I love this sweatshirt. I was very excited when I received it.
It's great.
I opened it and I was like, what sick stalker sent this to my house? And Robin was like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
I think it's Jeff. And I was like, that
Robin
tracks.
a heads up about it because I was like, this is just going to arrive because I didn't write. There was no way for me to write like Merry Christmas. For people listening, this was a Christmas gift that arrived. Our timing of these recordings is a little off. So we're closer to Christmas now than you are when you're listening to this. But I gave Robin a heads up because I was like, this is just going to arrive. And you're going to be like, what the fuck is this? It didn't have my name on it or anything. It was just...
Speaking, and I want to get to Lou Diamond Phillips, but speaking of things that have just arrived.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't know what this is.
So I don't know.
Katie's holding up a box for our audio
I'm
listeners.
holding up a box. So somebody let us know that we could buy this.
Okay.
And I said I was going to buy it.
Uh-huh.
I haven't sent it to him
Oh, I know
yet.
what this is. Oh, I'm excited.
So here we go.
Yeah.
I got to get the peanuts out of the way because there are peanuts. It's very, guys, this came
it's official.
from,
or
this came from,
not official.
came from Taiwan.
Right.
Not only did it not only come from Taiwan, when I ordered it, my credit card company froze my credit card.
Certainly this is a mistake.
Are you sure you wanted to buy this for $70?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, hell yeah, I did.
Uh-huh.
Here we go, guys.
Wow. That's incredible.
Wait, it's not.
Yeah, it's not focusing.
In focus. Darn it.
Well,
I'm going to take it out of the package. So for those of you that don't know about this, I highly recommend that you go listen to our Paul Sun-Young Lee episode. He plays Carson Teva on Mandalorian. And we have this entire conversation about the fact that he does not have an action figure. So somebody told me, and they told me that you could buy a custom Carson Teva action figure online. And they sent me the link. Jeff,
there's someone is me. That's who the someone is.
Well, but someone's someone was you.
Yeah, it was me. I was the
someone's making these.
Yeah.
It's not licensed. Disney's going to kill me.
She wears a Disney princess.
It looks as I wear a Disney.
An unlicensed Disney princess sweatshirt. You're wearing contraband all over you right now.
I am. I'm just smothered in contraband right now. This looks identical to Paul. And it comes with changeable arms and his helmet that looks identical.
What I like about that action figure is how much it looks like the old Kenner Star Wars action figures. Like, I don't think they make them. Well, I mean, they do make some like that now, but they're.
You can get the vintage looking ones.
Yeah.
For sure.
Did they make a bow vintage looking one?
They do. What I love about this is it actually moves.
Yeah.
You know, like I've got a bow action figure that my daughter plays with that's actually in the shower, and it doesn't move. The waist moves and the arms move, but her legs don't bend. Like, it's not a movable action figure. And, you know, this is akin to like what G.I. Joes used to look like, where they used to move and shit.
Yeah. Does that company make a bo-katan one?
I'm sure they do.
Yeah. I have to get a full set now.
And if not, I'll go find out.
Well, please, Disney, don't shut down this company because it's the only way Paul gets an action figure.
It's true. So Lou Diamond Phillips.
Yeah.
He's wonderful. I wish he had a better camera.
Yeah. A little behind the scenes. We, when we do these recordings, we like to have people record their audio on their side. We don't have them do the video because that's too complicated. But Lou was working, I think, in the year 2003. I think that's where he was calling us from. Because
he legitimately pulled out a flip phone and was like, "Can I record my audio on this?"
Yeah,
not really, but he might as well.
But sweet man, and I feel like I've known him by his name more than I know him by the work he's actually done.
I think a lot of people have, you know? Yeah. I mean, I think it's a weird thing, you know, sometimes it shocks me that I've been doing this for almost 30 years because that is just like unfathomable. Unfathomable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To my brain that I could have done this career that long. Lou has been acting for like almost 50 years.
Yes, our entire lifetimes, basically.
Yes, you're right, because we are the same age, Jeff.
Yes, exactly the same age. We've established
No, he has. Our entire lives, we have known of Lou Diamond Phillips. He is an institution.
Yeah.
In this industry.
Yeah. Yeah, he's I mean, La Bamba is like an incredible film that was sort of groundbreaking for its time. And I mean, you guys get into a very interesting conversation in this episode that is touchy nowadays, but the fact that, Lou is of mostly Filipino origin, but he's also got a whole hodgepodge of different ethnicities in him.
Yeah.
In La Bamba, famously, he's playing someone of more Latin origin.
Yeah.
And he just happens to be able to play that role because of his mix of heritages. He looks the part. And he admits it himself that there are a lot of roles that he couldn't play now that he did play then. I mean, including on Longmire, because he's only got that small amount of native
Henry Standing Bear. But he makes a very, very good argument where he says, for a lot of projects, if he had not been involved, the project would not have happened.
That's true.
So, there's this thing for people who don't understand. We've talked about this a little bit in our industry, so I'll give you just a Cliff's Notes version of this. Every movie needs financing. Financing is procured by going out and getting people to finance a movie, whether they're independent, a business, a trust, a studio, whatever it may be. And you sell different markets. You sell the United States. You sell the West. You sell you sell the Americas. Then you sell the UK. You sell Asia. You sell every place has their own sales teams, basically. So you're selling markets before you make this movie a lot of times because it helps you finance a movie. So if you cast somebody in a movie, let's say, we've talked about this number before. Let's say you have a $5 million movie. It's actually a very low budget movie, okay, everyone? So $5 million, it's a good size, but it's still low budget, okay? Yeah. So if you've got a $5 million movie and you say want to make it with a wildly unknown actor who is of Native descent.
Yeah.
You won't get financing.
Right.
You might, but it's going to be very, 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 very hard.
Yeah.
So a lot of times the movie happens because you hire someone like a Lou Diamond Phillips who has name recognition not only in our country and North America, but in the UK, in Asia, in all of these places where all of these financiers go, oh, I know who that is. Of course, we'll give you the money.
Right.
The movie then happens because of that, and it wouldn't have happened without his involvement, or it would have been a lot harder or a lot smaller budget. So, and that's the argument that he makes, and it is a valid, truthful argument.
Yeah. And that name, I mean, how could you not recognize that name? It's got Diamond in it.
I know.
I was just thinking if I put Diamond in my name, I just sound like a used car salesman.
If I put Diamond in mine, I'm a stripper.
That's that is true. Because it's like
Diamond Sackhoff coming to this. They would literally think, what they would think.
Yes, they would think. They think that you're wearing a sack and it's coming off.
It is coming off. It is coming off. And very quickly you become Tits McGee.
Yeah. The one thing I did want to touch on was him talking about acting in general and what it's like to be an actor nowadays, in the sense of, well, one, he said the phrase you better love this when talking about acting, because you see a guy like Lou Diamond Phillips and you're like, I think this is a common conception that people have, and I think you probably get this a lot too, is they think, oh, you're Katee Sackhoff, you're Lou Diamond Phillips. You can just walk into any room and get any part. You must have the pick of anything you want right now, you know? And the truth is that he's talking about is that no matter where you are in your career, acting is difficult. It's hard. You really have to you really need to love it, because it's going to kick your ass, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny, I work with what I'm going to call her a life coach. I work with this phenomenal woman who has helped guide me the last little bit of my life, probably 6 months, sort of when Ginny was going through treatment. We moved here. I felt a little like I was losing my identity as an actor, as a person, and I was really struggling with it inside of having a child that was going through treatment for cancer. So I was really struggling with sort of this loss of self, and then feeling guilty about it because I wanted to only care about what my child was going through, which I absolutely did. But then I felt guilty for giving up I was just so conflicted. Anyway.
Yeah.
Wait, ADHD. What were we just talking about? Lou, right. And so I was talking with her.
I forgot to be honest.
I was basically saying, exactly. I was basically saying to her that oh my God, ADHD again. Forgot.
Okay, let's refocus. We're talking about loving acting and how you felt like you lost your focus on it.
So I was talking to her about it, and I was basically saying, maybe this is it. Maybe I'm done. And I think I'm actually okay with it.
Yeah.
I think I'm okay with being done because I don't enjoy doing this enough to be a struggling actor.
Yeah.
So we walked away from it for a while, and I didn't talk to her for a month, which is what we do. That's our thing.
Yeah.
And I came back and she said, did you do what I've been told you to do? And I said, I did. And she said, and what did you realize? And I said, I'm not done. I'm not done. I love it.
Yeah.
I love everything about it. It makes me feel like I want to cry. There's something about acting that fulfills my soul on such a deep level. It's just so important to me. And I didn't think it was because I didn't have that, I've struggled, I've worked hard, but I never had to question whether or not I was going to continue because I just always continued.
Right.
And then I had the break, that 2-year break where I was like, well, maybe I'm done. But I realized I'm not done because I love it. And you have to love it. And I realized I'm willing to do it even if I'm not successful at it anymore.
Well, that's that artistic drive. It's the thing that you have to do, even though there's no real necessarily benefit or reason to it. It's just something inside of you that like drives you to do this thing.
Yeah.
Lou talked a lot about diversifying as well. And, you talked about that too and like what you do. So like you mentioned your voiceover work, and I would say you didn't mention it, but the podcast is also you diversifying. Like this is part of your career. Like as much as you enjoy doing this and talking to people about this podcast is a strategic decision on your part to do something with your career to try to like push it in a different direction.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it is absolutely a part of me diversifying myself, but also allowing me to stay in the conversation with people.
Yeah.
And if I can't be acting every day, at least I'm talking about it and I'm talking with people that are doing it.
Yeah.
That inspires you, and inspires me to talk to people every day that are as passionate about it as I am.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very important part about having an artistic career of any kind in this day and age is like cultivating a fan base and maintaining that fan base. And you have been in a position where you have a fan base because of your work. And now it's like, how do you maintain that fan base, and engage with them, give them content that they enjoy, that, comes back to you, things like that.
Absolutely.
I'm putting words in your mouth, but I assume that's what you mean.
Truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the truth. It's trying to figure out how to continue to grow the community, because if I could bring together all of my fan base, that'd be a really cool community of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we're just breaking the surface of finding these people and bringing them all to the podcast. So, bigger and better. You know what else I want to see from Lou? I want to see another Young Guns.
There is a Young Guns 2,
Yeah, of course.
Okay. But you want a Young Guns 3.
I want another one.
Okay.
I want like an old man one.
Yeah, because you want all these boys you had a crush on. You want to see them now, and
Yeah.
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 You got your own young gun at home, though.
I did. That was a good one, Jeff. That was super good. I do. I think I want to see it just because I know the guys. I mean, Kiefer and Lou are wonderful. I love Emilio. I think he's such a great talent. I think it would be really fun to see.
Yeah, I'd love to see it too. I've never seen Young Guns though, so.
You've never seen Young Guns?
Never seen Young Guns.
How the fuck is that possible?
I've only seen the second one. I've never seen the first one. No, I'm kidding. Never seen any of them.
You're like, I've seen Frozen too.
Yeah. No, I've actually.
No, I've not. I have no idea what's happening.
You can tell that I don't have children because I've never seen Frozen.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm disappointed by that too, Jeff.
Yeah.
But I'm going to let it go.
All right. So when I go home today, I'm going to watch
You don't even get that
Frozen,
joke.
And I get Let It Go, but.
Let's get into the mail sack before this shit really gets off the rails.
All right.
Mail sack. We're going to the mail sack. Mail sack. Why are we calling it mail sack?
I really wish we had a poll.
A poll.
For that. I was trying to figure out how I could strip dance like on this microphone. It's not possible.
I thought you meant a poll, like poll our listeners.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, I meant like a strip poll. Let's keep it classy, Jeff. You guys, send all of your emails and your questions and all of that to thesackoffshow@gmail.com. That is what the mail sack is. We also pull from our Apple and Spotify reviews and the comments on the videos and all that good stuff. But send them to thesackoffshow@gmail.com. It just makes it easier to find them. Michael Hurt, Q2U, says, great guests and show. You have stated your love for F1. Have you tried NASCAR? The excitement at the track sounds like what you experienced. Anyways, always try to watch your show. Keep going. Michael, one of my friends is the legal head, like the head of legal for NASCAR. He has been trying to pull me into the NASCAR world for a few years now. And I think it might actually happen. I'm a fan of speed in cars, not a fan of speed in motorcycles. I'm just not. I think for some reason, because I know how dangerous motorcycles are because I am a motorcycle rider, I don't want to see people on motorcycles going that fast. I just don't want to see it for some reason. I just can't bring myself to do it. So MotoGP is not something I'm into. But NASCAR, I've not got involved in NASCAR because I have a lot of misconceptions about people that watch NASCAR in my mind.
You're too bougie for it?
I feel like I might be a little bougie. But then again, I go to NASCAR, I go to the F1 events, and I'm like, what do you mean you don't have Coors Light? So maybe I fit in at the NASCAR a little bit better. I like all fast things. So I'm definitely going to check out some NASCAR.
NASCAR feels like it's one of those things that, well, I know it's one of those things because I don't watch NASCAR, but when I was growing up, there was a lot of stock car racing. It wasn't NASCAR, but it was like, lower leagues or whatever.
Yeah.
And you would go to like the fairgrounds and watch the race, and it was a lot of fun. So
yeah. I'm also interested in IndyCar too.
Yeah. That's closer to F1, isn't it? Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's like the minors to F1.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm excited. All good things. On Apple reviews, Riomer says, love the show. Awesome. The title says it all. Any chance we can get Robert Taylor or Lou Diamond Phillips? You're welcome.
Yeah.
You are welcome.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if they know that we already had Robert Taylor on a while ago, so they should have seen that. But Lou Diamond Phillips, there you go.
We should get Rob Taylor, though, because we didn't have him on video. So I think people want that. All right. So the emails, here we go. So Jake, 2024 was pretty great, all things considered. Taking a moment to boost your ego slightly, I will positively state that the fact that my 2024 was made slightly better by getting to laugh and listen with you on your show. It's an honor to listen and engage, and thanks for even letting me be a small part of your show this year. Even though I don't really know any of you, it's been seriously fun to connect a little. Looking forward to hearing from folks that you've mentioned are upcoming, like Ron Moore, and is Grace Park still on the cards? Jake, first of all, I also, Jake sent me a much longer email, you guys, and he actually broke down the percentage of his year that was made better. And he actually mathematically broke it down, and it was 12%. So I just want to say, Jake, I'm super happy I made your life 12% better. I hope in 2025 that I can make it 24% better. You know, let's double that number.
Double it, yeah.
And I know you're listening, Jake, and you are in my thoughts, and fuck yeah. All right. There you go. I don't want to talk too much about that on air, but Jake, I'm thinking of you. All right. So Mike, I recently started listening to the podcast and was going through the past episodes where I believe it was Bear McCreary who said his Little League baseball team was sponsored by a funeral home. I believe I have him beat on this one. Oh, Jesus. Okay. When I was playing T-ball, Little League in Tonopah, Nevada, probably not saying that right. In the 80s, our team was sponsored by Bobby's Buckeye Bar. That doesn't sound that bad. But he says, it sounds bad enough having a bar sponsor a kid's T-ball team. I don't think so. All right. I'm just going to go on. Mike, I have not read your email. Okay. It sounds bad enough having a bar sponsor a kid's T-ball team, but Bobby was actually a brothel in addition to a bar. Tonopah is in Nye County, which is one of the few counties in the U.S. where prostitution is/was legal. And thus our Little League team was sponsored by them. Thank you for all the great products and wishing you and the show's staff the best for 2025. Mike, I actually just think that's good advertising.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's great advertising because who takes their kids to Little League games? Fathers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like they're just doing their due diligence. You know what I mean?
How many women do you think at Bobby's Buckeye Bar were named Diamond?
In Nevada?
Yeah.
I don't know. In Nevada, there's some really good stripper names out there, Jeff.
There's a difference between a stripper and someone who works at a brothel.
Oh, a brothel. Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, when we were in Amsterdam, we went to the red light district, not with the kids. Robin and I left them with the grandparents because, I mean, he was so curious and I was so curious. So we walked her in there. And I think that we were both a little, it was still just really sad to me.
Yeah.
You know, like it didn't seem, I don't know. It just like, for some reason, I think that at least the red light district has been glamorized.
Yeah.
Thank you. 100%. And so I think that that's sort of what we both were expecting. And I was just like, oh no, it's the same thing it is here. It's just different. You know what I mean? Prostitution is one of the oldest professions in the world. So, you know, I get it. But yeah, I think that it's just a little, I wasn't prepared for that.
It's like prostitution and pottery. Those are the two oldest professions. Just imagine in Mesopotamia conversation. Honey, guess what? I figured out a new way to make money. What's yours? No, you go first.
Listen, that pandemic changed a lot of us.
Oh yes,
we're making pots.
That's true.
And sucking. Sorry, we're gonna beef that out. Yeah.
So I wanted to try a new thing for 2025. We tried it a little bit in 2024, but I'm gonna be better.
Keep them under an hour.
No, we've given up on that. But yes, I wanted to just the very end here to reward people that listened all the way in. I want to do a question at the end of every thing because
I love it.
this will hopefully encourage people to leave comments and email. And the question I came up with, and you can veto this if you want. It's the Sackhoff show, so you can veto this as much as you want.
Yeah.
You said, yeah, no, I'm gonna.
No, yeah, let's do it.
So my question was, based off our conversation with Lou, what is something you love to do that no one else understands? And this is for our fans, but I'd love to hear your answer too.
That no one understands.
Like acting for you. Not that no one understands necessarily, but like you can't explain why you like to do it necessarily,
I feel like this is something that's better asked to my Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Like something that I love doing that he doesn't understand because he's pretty damn normal. Like I'm married, very normal.
Well, he's got things. I mean, he's a writer. He probably likes to write, or does he force to write?
Oh, he forces himself to write.
Right.
He's a sit down and set a clock guy.
Right.
I don't know. Something that I actually enjoy doing. Oh, okay. I got one for you. I am very tactile.
Mm-hmm.
I have a really hard time. Like I can't memorize on an iPad. I have to have the script in my hand, and I write lists.
Okay.
I write them down. I like to use a pencil. I like to use a piece of paper and cross things off.
Yeah.
A million times though, I head to the grocery store having made a list and I forget it on the counter.
Yeah.
So, and I write in a daily journal. So I still have journals, which I love my journals, but Robin got me a Remarkable
Oh, I've heard
for
of this.
Christmas.
Yeah.
We talked about it a few years ago and I guess the first iterations of them were not as great. He looked at them then. It for people that don't understand, it's sort of like a Kindle, but for writing. So it's matte, and you can write on it with a pencil, and it's supposed to mimic what it's actually like.
A special pencil, not a real any day pencil.
A special pencil with different tips and things. So you can actually write on it as if you're writing on paper, and it's supposed to feel and look very similar. And I have to say, it really does. But I still print it out every morning.
Yeah.
And I still cross off my list.
From the printout.
From the printout.
So you're not even using the Remarkable for its purpose. He should have saved some money. I carry these field notes around. Do you know field notes?
I love it.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I'm the same way. I go through like one of these every couple of months, and
yeah. It's I think it was nice just because I did the math on journals in my head, and I'm a person that likes to keep things. So I did the math and I was like, that's like 50 journals for the rest of my life, if not more.
Yeah.
If I'm writing 3 to 6 pages a day in a journal, I can't save that.
But good for you for journaling. I feel like that's something not enough people do. And I worry about our future documentarians when they can't read from famous people's journals and say how they were feeling on those days. They're just going to be reading their tweets or whatever.
Did we talk about this the other day that there was I say this all the time, but there's an article that I read or a study. And it was all about this young generation. And they actually are having to dumb down college because people can't read.
Yeah.
They can't, the college students, and granted, you guys, I'm generalizing here, so don't take this personally. Basically, this one college they talked about this one college, and they said that, and I'm not talking about like a book, like if I were to hand you like a James Patterson book, I'm talking about legal briefs, medical books, like actual hard reading that requires your attention. This generation now does not understand how to read. And this teacher said, I will sometimes give out an assignment, like they've got to read 25 pages of this book or something overnight. And I will have the majority of my students come back the next day and say, I can't do it. I read a page, I get lost in my thoughts. and I
Yeah.
have to start over again. They legitimately can't do it because most children, most kids are learning and reading TikTok.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
how
have
their brains
these-
work.
Have these scientists thought
They're-
about putting their studies into TikTok?
Could you imagine? But they actually read in bullet points
Yeah.
and in bubbles and in, they read this staccato way of speaking. And it's very strange.
So pertinent to the question of the episode, you don't understand how college kids can't read.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you have something that you love that no one else understands, where can they email us, Katee?
You guys, you can email us at thesackoffshow@gmail.com. And this has been fun. I like the question idea. I think it's super cool.
Yeah. We'll see how it works.
Cool, Jeff. We'll see how it works.
Yeah.
We'll see how it works. You guys, thank you so much for sticking around to the very end. We appreciate it. We will see you next Tuesday. This is Diamond Sackhoff signing out on the left stage, and that's what's up.